The Aramaic and Palestinian Targum, Numbers chapter 24. And Balaam, seeing that it was good before the Lord to bless Israel, went not, as once and again before, in request of divinations, but set his face against the wilderness, to recall to memory the work of the calf which they had there committed. And Baleam, lifted up his eyes, but beheld Israel dwelling together by their tribes in their schools, and saw that their doors were arranged so as not to overlook the doors of their companions. And the spirit of prophecy from before the Lord rested upon him, Jerusalem. And Baleam saw that it was pleasing before the Lord to bless Israel, so that he went not, as he had gone from time to time, to seek for divinations, or to provide enchantments, but went and set his face toward the wilderness to recall to memory their work of the calf, still being desirous to curse Israel. But he took up the parable of his prophecy and said, Baleam, son of Beor, speaketh. The man speaketh who is more honourable than his father, because the dark mysteries hidden from the prophets have been revealed to him, and who, because he was not circumcised, fell upon his face when the angel stood over against him. He hath said who heard the word from before the living God, who beheld the vision before God the Almighty, and seeking that it might be discovered to him, fell upon his face, and the secret mysteries hidden from the prophets were revealed to him. How beautiful your houses of instruction, in the tabernacle where Jacob your father ministered. And how beautiful this tabernacle of ordinance, which is found among you, and the tents that surround it, O house of Israel. As tides of waters, so are the house of Israel, dwelling like flocks, made strong by the doctrine of the law. And as gardens planted by the flowing streams, so are their disciples in the fellowships of their schools. The light of their faces shineth as the brightness of the firmament, which the Lord created on the second day of creation of the world, and spread out for the glory of the Shekinah. They are exalted and lifted up above all the nations, like cedars of Lebanon planted by fountains of waters. From them their kings shall arise, and their Redeemer be of them and among them, and the seed of the children of Jacob shall dwell over many nations. The first who will reign over them will make war with the house of Amalek, and will be exalted above Agag their king. But because he had spared him, his kingdom will be taken from him. Unto Eloah, who brought them out free from Mizraim, belong might and exaltation and glory and power. He will destroy the nations of their adversaries and break down their strength, and will send forth the plague arrows of his vengeance among them and destroy them. They shall repose and dwell as a lion, and as an old lion that sleepeth, who will dare to awake? They who bless them are blessed, as Moshe the prophet, the scribe of Israel, and they who curse them are cursed, as Baleam, son of Beor. And Balak's wrath grew strong against Baleam, and smiting his hands, Balak said to Baleam, I brought thee to curse my enemies, And behold, in blessing thou hast blessed them these 3 times. And Jerusalem. And he took up in parable his prophecy and said, Baleam, son of Beor, saith, the man saith, who is more honourable than his father, and what hath been hidden from all prophets is revealed to him. The man saith, who heard the word from before the Lord, and who saw the vision before the Almighty, when, inquiring, prostrate on his face, the mysteries of prophecy were disclosed to him, and of himself did he prophesy that he shall fall by the sword, a prophecy to be confirmed in the end. How goodly were the tabernacles in which Jacob their father did pray, and the tabernacle of ordinance which you have made to my name, and your own tabernacles, O house of Israel. As torrents that prevail, so shall Israel overpower their adversaries, and as gardens planted by fountains of water, so shall be their cities, giving forth scribes and teachers of the law. And as the heavens which the memory of the Lord spread forth for the dwelling of his Shekinah, so shall Israel live and endure unto eternity. Beautiful and renowned as cedars by the waters which grow up oil high. Their king shall arise from among their children, and their Redeemer will be of them and among them. And he will gather their captivities from the cities of their adversaries, and their children shall have rule among the peoples. And the kingdom of the king Messiah shall be made great. Stronger is he than Sheol, who vanquished Agag, the kill of the Amalekab. Amalekab. Amalkaab. Unto God who redeemed and brought them out free from the land of Mizraim, which is Egypt, belong power and praise and exaltation. The sons of Israel will prevail over their enemies, will divide their cities, slay their heroes, and disperse their residue. Behold, these people will dwell as a lion, and be as strong lions. He who blesseth you, O Israel, shall be blessed, as Moshe the prophet, the scribe of Israel. And he who curses you will be accursed, as Baleam, the son of Beor. As Balak's anger grew strong against Baleam, and Balak smote his hands and said to Baleam, I brought thee to curse my enemies, and thou hast only blessed? And now flee to thy place. I had said that honouring I will honour thee, but behold, the Lord hath kept back Baleam from honour. But Baleam said to Balak, Did I not tell thy messengers whom thou sentest to me, saying, If Balak would give me the fullness of his treasure of silver and gold, I have no power to transgress the decree of the word of the Lord, to do good or evil of my own will. What the Lord saith, shall I not speak? And now, behold, I return to go to my people. Come, I will give thee counsel. Go, furnish tavern houses, and employ seductive women to sell food and drinks cheaply, and to bring this people together to eat and drink and commit whoredom with them, that they may deny their God. Then in a brief time will they be delivered into thy hand, and many of them fall. Nevertheless, after this they will still have dominion over thy people at the end of the days. And he took up the parable of his prophecy, and said to Baleam, the son of Beor, speaketh. The man speaketh who is more honourable than his father, because the mysteries hidden from prophets have been revealed to him, and speaketh who heard the word from before the Lord, and who knoweth the hour when the Most High God will be wroth with him. He speaketh who saw the vision before the Almighty, seeking prostrate on his face, that it should be revealed to him. The secret concealed from the prophets was disclosed unto him. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but it is not near. When the mighty King of Jacob's house shall reign, and the Messiah, the power sceptre of Israel, be anointed, he will slay the princes of the Moabite, and bring to nothing all the children of Sheeth, the armies of Gog, who will do battle against Israel, and all their carcasses shall fall before him. And the enemy will be utterly driven out, even the sons of Gabela, from before Israel, their foes. And Israel will be strengthened with their riches and possess them. And a prince of the house of Jacob will arise and destroy and consume the remnant that have escaped from Constantina, the guilty city, and will lay waste the ruin, the rebellious city, even Caesarea, the strong city of the Gentiles. And he looked on the house of Amalek, and took up the parable of his prophecy, and said, the first of the nations who make war with the house of Israel were those of the house of Amalek, and they at last in the days of the king Messiah, with all the children of the east, will make war against Israel. But all of them together will have eternal destruction in their end. And he looked upon Jethro, who had been made proselyte, and took up the parable of his prophecy, and said, how strong is thy habitation, who hath set thy dwelling in the cliffs of the rocks. Yet so is it decreed, that the children of the Shamaliah must be despoiled, but not until Sennacherib, the king of Arthur, shall come and make thee captive. Jerusalem's text. And now, behold, I go to my people. Come now, I will counsel thee how thou art to act with this people. Lead them into sin, for else they cannot have power against them to prevail over thy people at the end of the days. And he took up the parable of his prophecy, and said, Baleam, son of Beor, saith, the man who is more honourable than his father saith, for what hath been hid from all the prophets is revealed unto me. The man speaketh who heard the word from before the Lord, and learned knowledge from the Most High, who saw the vision in the presence of the Almighty, seeking prostrate on his face when the visions of prophecy were disclosed to him. And he was made to foreknow of himself that he will fall by the sword, but that his prophecy will be confirmed. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but he is not nigh. A king is to arise from the house of Jacob, and a redeemer and ruler from the house of Israel, who will slay the strong ones of the Moabite, and bring to nothing, and consume all the children of the east. And Edom may inherit Mount Gabela from their enemies, but Israel will be stronger with a mighty host, A king will arise from the house of Jacob and destroy what shall remain of the strong city. And he beheld the Amalkaah, which is Amalkaah, and took up the parable of his prophecy and said, the house of Amalek was the first of the peoples to make war with Israel, and at last in the end of the days they will array battle against him, but their end is to perish, and their destruction to be forever. And when he looked upon the Shammelmeah taking up the parable of his prophecy, he said, how strong is thy abode, who has set the house of thy dwelling in the cliffs of the rock. But the Shammelmeah will not be spoiled until Assyria shall arise and take thee captive. It's the end of the Jerusalem text. And he took up the parable of his prophecy and said, woe to them who are alive at the time when the word of the Lord shall be revealed, to give the good reward to the righteous, and to take revenge on the wicked, to smite the nations and the kings, and bring these things upon them. And ships armed for war will come forth with errant armies from Lombania, and from the land of Italy, conjoined with the legions that will come forth from Constantine, which is Rome, and will afflict the Assyrii, and bring into captive all the sons of Eber. Nevertheless, the end of these and of those is to fall by the hand of the king Messiah, and he brought to everlasting destruction. Jerusalem, woe to him who is alive when the word of the Lord setteth himself to give the good reward to the just, and to take revenge on the wicked. And great hosts and Livonia will come from the great city, and will conjoin with them many legions of the Romia, and subjugate Assyria, and afflict all the children beyond the river. Nevertheless, the end of these and of those is to perish, and the destruction to be everlasting. And Baleam arose up and went and returned to his place, and Balak also. End of Jerusalem text. And Baleam rose up and went to return to his house, and Balak also went upon his way, and appointed the daughters of the Midianites for the tavern booths at Beth Jeshimoth by the snow mountain, where they sold sweetmeats cheaper than their price, after the counsel of Baleam the wicked, at the dividing of the way. End of the chapter. There's a lot in this chapter. Isn't it interesting that Baleam got the prophecy of the Messiah coming, and the insight on how to lay them astray, which is similar to this day. Cheap sweets and cheap meat, lure them in with, wicked sexual ways, and this is what happened, and we're going to find out in the next chapters. Did Israel get lured in by these carrots that they gave to them to go against the Lord's Torah and to defile themselves? There is nothing new under the sun. What was, is, and unfortunately will be until the return of our beloved Messiah, as it is prophesied, who will smite the wicked and give reward to the righteous who endure to the end. Praise be his holy name.